Hello friends, good evening, hello, yes, welcome. We're going to continue painting this guy and then build some of the rest of them. Hello Yon. It's painting time. Mondays, beautiful Monday. It's a great week. Heading to Melbourne for the Arc Open. Exciting times. So who's been watching Fallout? Anyone been watching Fallout? Most people have probably finished Fallout actually by now. I have not. Just started it. Up to episode 3. G'day Cragzog. Yeah, episode 3. Pretty fun. G'day Spurting Rectum. Well, as someone who's never played the game, and pretty much knows nothing about the world, I recommend it. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff, particularly for someone who's interested in fantasy genre or this sort of genre of stuff. Actually, someone said to me the other day that my microphone wasn't picking up my audio very well. Let me see if there's something I can do about it. I'll just get it as close to my mouth as I can. How's that? Yes, yeah, but it is Party Monday. Welcome. Good times. It's exciting week. It's Arc Open week. Everyone's heading down to Arc. Well, I assume some people are already there. What's scuffed for scuff's sake? I don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes the words that come out of your mouth, mate. No, look. As a person who, I would say, doesn't really frequent many other streamers, one thing that I did observe was if audio quality was bad, it was very hard to get in. Very hard to get in and around it. Well, I ignore that rule for myself, and I have a very specific reason. And I've expressed that reason multiple times on stream. Well, it is exactly that, yes, but it's because, and I like to stress this point to everyone, right? I don't come on here and stream for your enjoyment, as wild as that might sound. I came on here because, oh, Meg's there. Awesome. I come on here because I find it useful to provide feedback, to have ideas, real-time ideas on things that I'm doing, and just in general be able to engage with other painters in a way that I don't normally. And one of the things that I find very challenging is painting when I'm not comfortable. And not comfortable, my microphone, if it's in my way, that pisses me off. But headphones is the big one. I hate headphones. I find them so uncomfortable. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff this weekend. I'm excited to see what everyone's bringing down or has prepared. It's been a decent chunk of time since the Crimson Brush. We get to have... How do I do this now? Get to have several people conversing and engaging around the wonderful miniature world. It's exciting. No, it's fine. It's just probably me being a pest and not positioning my microphone. I move it out of the way and then I forget about it. I just need to harden up sometimes. Alright, so I watched June. The sequel, June 2. Widely regarded as a very good film. I thought it was okay. I wasn't enamored with it personally. I'm not sure if it's the pacing I felt slow, or I don't really get into the universe and the lore. I can't really pinpoint it, but it didn't rustle my jimmies. Some great shots, beautifully filmed. Cinematography was magnificent. I think I like the first one better. One more to come. Or more. Are they doing more, or are they just doing 3? Because there's quite a lot of books, isn't there? There's like 6 books in the Dune universe. It's a very good observation, because other people's expectations is often making or breaking how I feel about things. If I walk into something feeling too enthusiastic, it's easy for me to be let down. But then I wasn't let down with Avengers Endgame, and I think I've never walked into a movie more enthusiastic about a film. So maybe that's not always accurate. But yeah, look, when you go into something expecting it to be incredible, and it doesn't meet your... What did I press? Oops. If it doesn't meet your expectations, the expectations that have been artificially created by other people, yeah. Interesting. I don't know the answer. All I know is that it wasn't my favourite film I've watched. It just fell in the okay category for me. It did actually, g'day Timber, it did actually make me more enthusiastic to play Dune Imperium, the board game, of which there is also a digital port, by the way, so you can look that up on my recommendation. Very good game, Dune Imperium. But anyway, I was watching the movie and I was just remembering a number of elements, like there's a thing called the Battle for Arrakeen in Dune Imperium, the board game, and I was like, oh, I think I know what that is now, etc., etc. Yeah, digital port's quite good too. I've played it several times. With me travelling for work now, I've had to download a few bits and bobs to my computer to pass the time in the hotel rooms. As always with Kingdom Death models, weird aesthetic, weird vibe. I dig it. So we'll see if Buxo gets on tonight. I'm sure he'll try and make an appearance. I'm sure he's been cracking away on his last ditch entry for the event. I have not. Well, I mean, technically I'm probably going to bring this guy, but this is just a token entry at this point. So far we've spent, what, 2 hours on it? Don't think this will be considered. But I did box up the rest of my entries. And of course the main entry, the only one that I'm actually proud of, is not the right expression, but the one that I think is best representative of me and who I am as a miniature painter at the moment. Is already down there. All right. I don't know, just Dave. G'day, mate. Welcome. Alright, so we're going to work out a plan of attack tonight for the next diorama. And the name of it. We haven't come up with a name yet that's struck a chord. Picture of it is still on the table here. Yes, Dave, I'm going to the Arc Open in a couple of days, which is great. Also going to the Guilds Inn. I regularly attend the Queensland Model Hobby Expo. I think I'm judging in an event later in the year called the Runax. I'm not sure if that's the name of the painting event or the actual event. And then hoping to get to GHMX this year, which is a event held out at Strathpine, a gaming event where they had a miniature painting show attached to it, so hoping to get to that. That's it for the moment. Not attending any of the European events as much as I would like to. With the job security currently pretty ordinary. I think it's best to just save the pennies, which is a difficult thing for me to deal with, by the way. I've lived a life that is over the last few years that I would say has been just very much egocentric, where I say to myself, if I want something, I'm going to have it. And sometimes I want to travel overseas, so I'm going to have it. Well, no more. No more living in that world. That's good. That's good. That's got the right level of wankitude that, as you know, I'm quite partial to. So we could be on board for that. What I might do, friends that are just hanging out. So I've decided I'm going to try and start filming my my models a bit closer. I could try Nova. Just so you can see a little bit better. One of the things I've really enjoyed about watching Sergio's videos on the internet has just been you get really close shots of the brush strokes, even if sometimes seeing his brush just aggravates the fuck out of me because he doesn't neaten up his bristles. He's just fucking a madman. He's just going in there with bristles all over the fucking place. It's like, Sergio, you fucking animal, mate. I'd love to go to Nova. I mean, our brave Minimancer is heading there for his first event. It'd be nice to go along and support him the way that he supported this show for many, many years. These years, I think. That's only America, mate. America's actually not that far for us. It's only about 14 hours, I think. Actually, where is Nova? What's US state? Is it on the East Coast? Okay, cool. Yep, no, I can do that. Yep. Yeah, it's about 14 hours, I think. Brisbane to LA. I've done it many times. I went over to a couple of events over there for War Machine, the Iron Gauntlet, which I competed in. Came second in twice. Including one that still haunts me to this day. Great memories. That was 2015. Still on YouTube, actually, if you want to go and watch the 2015 Iron Gauntlet Grand Final. It's coming up on 10 years now. At the time, losing that final was devastating. And now it feels a little bit less devastating. It does still hurt though. Does still hurt. Ah well. I played a fellow by the name of Jeremy Lee in the final. I played Crix. He also played Crix. I had him on the ropes. The scenario I had full control over. He had to go for a last-ditch assassination attempt. There was a somewhat dubious judge ruling, but we rolled with it. And I think we calculated as about, when we calculated afterwards, we calculated as about a 12% chance, I think, of his assassination attempt. And he got it. Pulled it out of the hat. Yeah. That's unfortunately the story of my international wargaming career. We were in the final table of the World Team Championships. We had 2 separate games where we were very, very, very confident of winning. One of them we lost on a 97% chance. And the other one was 91 or 89, I think 89. We don't talk about it all the time at all, in case you can't tell. It doesn't haunt us to this very day. Still stings. Still stings. Oof. Alright. White. Beautiful white. I really need to shave my face. I feel like a wild man. I'm sure my girlfriend would agree. That I'm unkempt. Need to fix that. Look at this. No. It doesn't hurt anywhere near as much as it used to. Not shaving, I'm talking about that event. But it does still hurt. And I don't think it ever won't. And that sounds really silly, that me, a grown man, feels that way about my toy soldiers, but it was an experience I really would have liked to have shared with my friends, and unfortunately, I did not get to experience that. Most of the people on my team did not get to experience that. A couple of them went on and did. But, yeah, not I. Might fill those in as gems, I think. Alright, I think I've reached fluffing around point on this guy, where I'm just doing stuff that's not really improving it, right? I do that on occasion, just fluff about. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful observation. Kobayashi Maru. Maru? Anyway. You're absolutely right, and I actually think that if I was to look back, I wouldn't change those results, because I think it's made me a more humble, if you can believe that, person, and it's been better for me than winning them would have been. I know. It was, yeah. I said more humble. I didn't say humble. I said more humble. So, moving from 0 to 1 is an increase. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is not very high. I sort of really only had a couple of things I wanted to do on this guy, which was the cloth. You're on fire today, Yab. So I had a quick review of the schedule for the event on the weekend. We've got a nice weekend ahead, I think. Sounds as though there'll be a more dedicated lounge area for people to hang out and talk painting than perhaps there was last year. I'll be bringing a little game. I'll bring a little game to play with my friends called the Star Wars deck building game. I know Ben loves Star Wars, so does Andrew for that matter. Andrew Bucknell, if you haven't met him, great bloke, great painter. Other people may know him as Andy Bugsart. Eric Swinson, wonderful American painter. Could make an argument to say that he is one of the best painters in the world, if not the best right now. Great bloke. Paints a lot of Kingdom Death models too, which just ups his estimations in my books. I wanted to talk about something tonight, and it's probably a bit of an ego conversation, which would be unusual for me, I know. But I was looking for a specific post that I'd made not long ago in the Kingdom Death Discord, and so the easiest way for me to do that is just search Deno, right? Because then my name pops up. Anyway, I read a post from a chap in one of the forums on the Kingdom Death Discord, basically having a dig at my board game streams of Kingdom Death, and saying that I'm just fucking shithouse at the rules. And it's one of the things that you often underrate in content creation, is just how much a negative comment sits with you. It is actually a real skill and a really important part of being a content creator, as it were. I don't know that I'd necessarily call myself a content creator. I don't make content for other people. I do stuff for my own benefit. But I was really reflecting on that comment a lot when I read it earlier today, and I was like, I wanted to reply. No, he wasn't a prick. Well, I think he actually is a prick, but anyway, that's irrelevant. I wanted to reply, and this comment was from like 2 weeks ago, right? So, literally, there's no way for me to reply without looking like a bit of a dickhead. So, I wanted to reply because he highlighted one particular instance in what is, and I've filmed 5 Kingdom Death campaigns that go for 25 to 30 Lantern years. each of which equates to about an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours of per year, right? So we're talking about probably 150 hours of content that I've created, and he's picked up on one mistake in that amount of content and said, that guy fucks up the rules all the time. He's got no fucking idea. Unwatchable. And I wanted to do it. Mate, I've beaten it. I've played 15 campaigns. I'd probably be in the top, 15% of people who've beaten the game. And that percentage is probably 5% of the people who've played Kingdom Death. So I've got plenty of credentials backing me up when it comes to this. Anyway, my point that I was making was not let's fucking dogpile on this guy. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to just like read stuff like that and then go, yeah, move along. Move along. Because you can't win. You can't win that argument. Sometimes your content, as it were, will not appeal to people, and that is okay. And sometimes, like for many of the people on this chat, your content will appeal. So I'm a big advocate of being you, focusing on your people that do enjoy what you do, and that's it. Move on. But even me, with all of my g'day covert madness, all of my wisdom and my ability to just completely ignore what other people are saying or doing, it's still one of those things that I just want to go, yeah, but mate, you're fucking wrong. You're wrong. The other aspect of that is I have made a number of mistakes in the game, and it's actually very hard to film, play solo, and then be engaging and interesting. Those are all three skill sets that you need to bring together at the same time. Like, I'm sure if you said to someone, hey, be interesting and engaging, you know, the majority of people would probably be able to find a way to do that. If you then said, play this game solo, the majority of people would be able to find a way to do that, assuming they had any interest in it. And the same for film. Trying to do all three, yeah, it's a challenge. So and many of those people, if you met them in the real world, would be meek as can be. Wouldn't say a word. Some very few of those people would be like me, which is to say that they would be exactly the same. There has been times where I've received feedback from people that my abrupt nature has not been well received. I've offended a number of people at various events, painting end or otherwise. Where I've just rolled them the wrong way. So No, it's true, Timbo. I know it's hard to believe, mate, but it's true. It's absolutely tough out there. Anyway. It's okay to make mistakes. especially when you're filming, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes when painting little toy soldiers. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece of words there that I'm going to try and reflect on from Craigsog, which is, don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't go to for advice. Very, very wise. I give that a 9.5 out of 10. That one's going straight to the wank bank. Dave, who have you been talking to, mate? You've been talking to the wrong people. I am just an absolute pest. I am one of the A-grade pests. Well, Swinson, fucking, trust me, that guy wouldn't know shit. Can't paint for shit. No, I love Eric. He's a great man. Hope to get him out here one day, actually. We have a great time. Good. Alright, last little spots of white on this little thing, I think. Alright, so I try to do my Kingdom Death pieces to a just fractionally better than tabletop standard. So I think we've achieved that. I really like all of the colours. I did try to make this look quite similar to the artwork. If we have a look here at the Black Knight Kingdom Death. It looks okay. It's okay. There you go. There's the artwork. So yeah, I tried to. It's probably the blue's probably a little more saturated. Could have gone a little more desaturated blue. It's got a little bit more pink in there than I probably considered. But I haven't got a lot of pink. Have I got pink? I don't have much pink on my Kingdom Death models. I'm going to show everyone my Kingdom Death models now. Let's go and find that video. I'll link it. Every day I'm shuffling. There you go, there's the video. I'll pop it up on stream now as well, so everyone can see it. How do I do that? Do you know? What are you doing? No, I can't. I've fucked it. That's not reading my thing. Anyway, that's my Kingdom Death collection. It's a very saturated color palette. Yes, I love it. Dung Beetle Knight would probably be my favourite too. Yeah, it's outstanding. The Gambler was fantastic. The Crimson Crocodile was fantastic. The King is a stunning fight. I don't know if you've gotten through the Gambler's chest yet, but the King is fucking incredible. But no, Dung Beetle Knight, Sunstalker Dragon King are all really fantastic fights as well. So yeah, it's a hard one actually. Still a ways to go. Rugby league. It's a hard one. It's a hard one because I think the Dung Beetle Knight was the best of the original expansions. Really, really, really strong. Just added so many interesting things. And very few of the original expansions got anywhere near that level. Whereas I think so far from what I've seen of the new stuff, and I've played through the Gambler's Chest content, I've done 3 full playthroughs of the content. It's going to be an amazing time to be a Kingdom Death fan. The content is just going to be incredible. I'm really excited to play with this. Actually, this is the Black Knight. I've committed to myself that I'm not going to play the little 5-year campaign until I've painted all of these little champions. So that's what we're doing now, preparing the Squires. I've got the box just sitting over there, so maybe I'll pull the box out and have a read through the book. We'll have a look at some of the cool artwork. I'm sure there'll be some cool artwork. Yeah, the Phoenix is, yeah, it's okay. I hate it less these days. Once you have the knowledge that you need to know X, Y, Z could occur, and some of the actual, like the white box kits have made the Phoenix a little more palatable. Some of the Gambler's Chest content. Yeah. I don't know if I got a bad mold or if I got a very late mold, but there are some fucking significant mold lines on these models. Very, very, very significant. So Timbo, how many entries did you land on, mate? Cool. What are we going to do about Crimson next year, right? This year was glorious. 300 entries. And I'm talking specifically about judging. We judged for 5 hours. That is a long time. Well, look, I'm not worried about the time so much as I'm worried about streaming. Like, how do we stream 7 hours of judging? How does that not just become a fucking train wreck? You know? Because from my observation of looking back on it, we kind of reached critical mass of feedback and useful feedback after about an hour or two. You know, everything after that was like just a rehash of similar advice. So, do we just stream a selection of the judging? Or does that feel like we're then shitting on everyone else and saying your stuff is not good enough to be judged on camera? Or however that'll be interpreted. Because one of the reasons I wanted to do open judging, or have the judging be live streamed, was so that we could eliminate some of the I guess subjectivity people perceive around judging. There's always going to be subjectivity around judging, right? It's humans making a decision about what things are their favourite. It's probably one of the most subjective things we could possibly do. Yeah. It worked. So here's the only thing I could come up with. I usually like to think about these things. We have standard have a cutoff of the first day. Standard judging's done on day 1. Masters judging's done on day 2. Gives the judges a break. Means we're not doing 7 hours straight. Means we get to give everyone the level of respect. Potentially we could change the judges through the process, so we get to expose some different people to it. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I'd love to spend more time, maybe even taking a little handheld camera, right, and walking over the tables like a chess camera on one of the judges, and like me just walking around asking them why they didn't select this piece or why they did select this piece. You know, what was the reasons? Very, very, very difficult to give the level of feedback to people that I would like to. And let me tell you why I feel so passionately about this. My very first Monty, I've shared this story before. I have a lot of stories that I just repeat, right, because they're meaningful ones to me, and they give me a lot of stuff to reflect on. I was at Monty my very first year. I took my models. I think I entered about 6 pieces. Didn't get any medals for them. 0 medals. And I was probably a little disappointed, but at the same time, after I'd sort of walked out of the room, I realised, yeah, you're probably not going to get one, mate. You're not there yet, champion. So that was okay. I had that realisation and I was comfortable with that. But anyway, I was sort of standing around afterwards, and I was packing up my models, and Ben Comets was standing nearby, and he saw me pulling out one of my things and showing someone else, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I really like your models." He was one of the judges that judged my thing, and I swear he gave me 20 minutes of his time. 20 minutes, like after Monty, right after Monty, after everyone's like going into celebration mode and having a great time, and I'm just sort of standing there, hanging out. It was such a meaningful experience for me to have one of the best painters in the world give up just the 20 minutes of their time to share feedback with me. Now, 20 minutes doesn't sound like a long time. G'day, Jared. However, 20 minutes across 1,000 entrants is a fucking significant chunk of time. So I don't know what the solution is, but I do know that had a really big impact on me, and when I reflected on what I thought I wanted Crimson to have and what I wanted to be, was incorporating that kind of experience for everyone as much as I could. Now, obviously, that's not easy to incorporate that. And so the streaming was one of the ways that I wanted to try and do that and incorporate that for people. Yep, we did that too. But there's always, you know, people that are confident and have great self-worth are the ones who will go and ask those questions and be like, I really love some feedback. They're also probably the ones who don't need to, right? Because they're the ones who are going to be able to ask for feedback any normal time and, you know, find a way to, you know, be confident enough to just reach those steps. It's the people who probably feel too shy about asking for feedback that are the ones that really need it and the ones that really probably deserve it. And that's hard to help those people, especially if there's like a big line of people that want to get feedback. You know, we try and promote a very open and welcoming environment, and we try and promote people to come and talk to the judges and anyone involved with the event. But it's hard, right? So again, streaming. It's a good point, Dave. Streaming it is a way to give that information, not just to those people and those individuals, but to anyone and everyone that wants to watch it. And all of a sudden, it doesn't have to be about your work, right? Because some people find hearing that feedback confronting. So you get to go back and look at anyone, and you can understand the judge's perspective, and you might not agree with it, right? Like that's just, again, human nature. People disagree about things that they like. I mean, some people like the Saw movies, right? What is wrong with those people? It's fucking stupid. Is it cold down there, Jared? I got my aircon on, mate. Fucking hot up here. Dave, feel free to share your Instagram or whatever, mate, in the chat. Everyone on here knows we're a very open place. You can share whatever you want on here. No one's going to get in trouble. Yeah, mate, I'm freezing because my aircon's on. Yeah, Craigsdog, so the Brisbane Display Painters Guild is just going from strength to strength at the moment. Really great work, really inspirational stuff from me to get that off the ground. But one thing I will say is that they've got this this traffic light system in their forum for people around feedback. I don't like it. I'm not supportive of it. I think it sucks. People need to hear what they need to hear. This is one of the many reasons I'm not well liked. So you go, hi, this is my first piece. I'd like some green feedback, which is be gentle with me. You know, maybe just give me a lot of positive feedback with maybe one thing to work on. Orange is like, yep, I want some feedback, but you know, I'm aware that this has got some things, blah blah blah. And red is just like, torch me, motherfuckers. You know. So there's a caveat to that, right? When I give feedback, I try to take the lens of I'm going to give you the level of feedback that I think you need to hear. Now, I've gotten reasonably good at adjusting that level for the person or persons in question based on where I perceive their level to be at. But I really think sometimes people just need to hear some harsh truths. Just Dave, this is Jared Clifford. He's the best painter in Australia at the moment, mate. So follow him closely. He's doing wonderful things. Still a fuckwit. What is this? Is this a fucking helmet or something? No, these must be shoulder pads. It's not true, fuck's sake. Oh, here, maybe? Here? Is it a cape? No, this is the cape. The cape. Is Athena version 2 going to be at guilds? Oh, that's right. You're not allowed to enter any of these events. Actually, are you going to do that dog thing where you enter guilds in as well? Like you did last year? You're going to give yourself a medal again? Oh, it's great stuff. Great stuff. Really, really just ups the integrity of the event in my books, right, when the organiser gives medals to himself. I love it. Oh, oh, too good. Jared, why don't you come on and join me in the chat, mate? I'll get you on the stream if you want, and we can talk about how you're going to look forward to judging. I'm in the Team Stonebeard general Discord channel. If you want to join me, you can talk about are you feeling nervous, all that sort of stuff. If you want, you don't have to. Good man. Alright, this must be a shoulder pad. Where do you sit? Ah, you sit here. You are my bitch. Yeah, give it to him. Absolutely give it to him, right? Don't just fucking hammer him. I'm just waiting. Come on, get in there. This should have been a super glue one, Deno. You fucked up, mate. Anyway, to go back to my little diatribe on Crimson, it's a delicate balance that we want to strike between creating and fostering an open and transparent process where everyone gets value from it, whilst the actual practicalities of the event. It is such a monumental task running an event. And I'm adding huge amounts of difficulty to it. Anyway, I've got a couple more months before I'm going to start getting back into the swing of planning. So, time to make a judgment on our ultimate goal.
Good evening.
Hey! What's going on, mate?
I was just listening to the ultimate goal. I think you need to have a lift in there.
Turn your camera on, mate. I've got you on screen. What's
right.
What's the lift?
The big guy.
Here he is!
I'm getting a lot of feedback. I just have to mute something.
Are you also watching the stream?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I have to turn it off, don't I?
Yes, mate. Or just mute the actual stream.
Well, that might help too. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Professional here.
You're a professional streamer. It's good to see you, mate. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Looks like we both had a haircut, lost a bit of weight.
I wish I'd lost a bit of weight, mate, but I've definitely had a haircut.
Dear.
So this is your first judging experience next week, or this weekend, I should say. Officially, is that right?
Yep, it is.
Have you been involved in any other capacity or judging?
Not really. So
except for that time at Guild's Inn where you gave yourself all those awards, right?
I had nothing to do with that. I want this on the record. I had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, outstanding. No. So how are you feeling about it?
I was just chatting with Carly before. I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous. Just because it's a new thing to go through. I am looking forward to seeing everyone's work up close and just seeing all the effort put in and just seeing what all the miniature artists are doing, particularly in the Warhammer setting as well. Because
you're
exciting.
You're a big Warhammer nuffy, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what got me into the hobby all those years ago. Similar to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a weird thing that I've observed. I reckon when I was judging, as much as I was like looking at the models more, I also found that I didn't get to appreciate the models. Like I didn't get to just look at the models and enjoy them. I was always looking at them and just like being critical. So it's kind of a weird feeling that you get to look at the models more, but you're never really just looking at them just to enjoy them. And it's actually like a nice feeling when one comes along that just takes you out. The immersion just takes you out of that thinking. You're just like, wow, I love this, you know? So
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've been seeing people post stuff for Arc already, and it's like, wow, really looking forward to seeing that. Because I don't know, this as a spectator, you just go around looking at everything. It just takes so much. You only look at it for about 10 seconds before someone else comes in and wants to move in and have a look themselves.
Mm.
So yeah, no, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to having holding everything in the hand and really looking at it. I'll be taking the new glasses, which I can see better with now. So that's an improvement.
And so you're judging with a couple of people you don't really know all that well. I imagine that's probably also weighing on you a little bit, is it?
Yeah, and they're pretty seasoned veterans as well. Victoria Lamb and Pete Overton, so both former Golden Demon winners back in the Australian comps, and Victoria's won the Slay Sword as well, I think.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this about Victoria, right? So obviously I don't want to make you feel more nervous, but she's actually probably um, one of the most influential miniature artists in the world. Like OSL as a thing, she actually like popularized that. Her piece, the
Yeah,
Rescue of Sister Joan, was literally like our generation's non-metallic metal. You remember how non-metallic metal came in with Rackham, and then Kirill and other dudes just went crazy with it. Well, Victoria brought OSL like for real. No one had ever done it, and she brought it into the world stage. So she's possibly one of the most influential miniature painters in the world today. So enjoy that.
yeah. No pressure to to perform. I remember seeing that in the White Dwarf magazine,
Yeah,
and I was just like, "How the hell did she do that?"
yeah,
It was unbelievable. And then she did that Killer Khan with the
yeah. The
battle
the
system.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah,
good
those were
stuff.
awesome. Yeah, and then Pete Overton, like he's known for jewels and dioramas, so he's won a fair few Golden Demons, and he was a collaborator with Seb
Yep,
Archer, doing Twisted as well. So
twisted.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, both they both know their stuff. And then there's little old me. How did I end up there?
Well, the good news, mate, is you earned your way there last year from the very cool piece, that the People's Choice piece. So yeah, you earned your spot. It's well done. G'day, Anik Roach. Um, yeah, so don't feel like you don't belong. But where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself sharing your voice? Like it's you were quite close proximity to the judging last year, right? At Crimson, or this year rather, and
Yeah,
we had Dave and we had Kyle and then we had Will, and I felt like one of the observations that many people made was that Will probably didn't speak up enough. Probably didn't get in there and get amongst it enough. That was a feedback I heard from a number of people. So I pulled him aside halfway through and said, "Speak up more." I feel like you may have a similar challenge early on. How you gonna have your voice be heard, mate?
well, the sheer size of me, as Tim has as Tim put before, being 7'6", it has its advantages. You just stand over them and say, "I think this." No, no. For me, it's I guess because I'm new to all this. Only really been doing it for 3 to 4 years now. I guess I've got an outsider's view coming in, particularly as this is set up very similar to Golden Demon style type event,
Yeah.
but with open judging. So I think seeing the international stuff last year has sort of broadened my horizon a bit, and able to bring all that knowledge base that I've learned and chatting with international people as well to the fold. And again, that will be the same at Guilds in this year as well.
Are you involved in judging
Um,
at Guilds Inn?
well, the main judges are Seb Archer and Mr.
A-
Andy
Andy
Bucks.
Bucknell.
Andy Bucknell, yep. um, so I'll be the third judge, doing like a lot of processing and stuff, admin stuff, um, to make sure we collate all the information correctly, but also to be the third person if needed. Because whether it'll be bigger than last year, where I'm sure it will with the introduction of standard and masters. It will increase, but yeah. So no, it should be interesting, and I guess yeah, just bring a new perspective on things. Maybe might be where I come in, but
Don't be shy, mate. That's my advice. Like
yeah,
you've been invited there for a reason. You've been invited to the Malaysian Open for a reason, and it's good that you're doing them in this order, by the way.
yeah,
You know, you've got a unique perspective, and it's really important when you're judging or when you know that you share the things that you're passionate about, right? Your
yeah.
your experience, your mindset, the things that you're passionate about are. It's okay to be subjective. It's okay to have things that you find really exciting and other things that you don't. Um, like that's one of the reasons you're there. So embrace it.
Yeah. No, I am definitely looking forward to it. And to answer COVID Madness's question, yeah, so myself and Pete Overton got brought in to bring I guess, a new perspective on things from judging. So yeah, Squidmar were there last year. Lucas and Emil and Victoria. Now it's
That's
Victoria,
Jared Clifford.
myself, and Pete Overton.
Oh, look, mate. Many people would consider that a downgrade, but I don't. I think that's a trade up.
Better looking.
Far better looking.
Yeah.
Those guys they can't paint, mate. They're yesterday's heroes. just make YouTube videos.
Yeah. What do they know?
Exactly. No, it's good.
No, so we'll be exciting, and then yeah, like you pointed out, heading over to Malaysia to be part of the judging team over there. So that should be pretty exciting as well.
I got asked to do that. I think 2 years ago, and
yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And I couldn't. I for whatever reason, I couldn't make it happen. So I'm really glad you're getting to go, mate, because I think it's going to be an amazing experience. So, well done.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. It was sort of unexpected, to be honest, because I had to catch up with
Big Al.
Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Melbourne, and we're just talking about miniatures and painting and stuff, and then next 48 hours he sent me an invite. I'm like, oh, okay.
Guess I better go.
It's a bit like, yeah, best to go over and meet everyone over there. But yeah, there's some pretty well-known painters over there from Asia. Darren Hans, I think, is judge.
Oh man, that's gonna be a privilege to see his work in the hand.
Yeah. Hopefully, he brings some stuff. But I think from memory, so the Malaysia competition, I think it's called Malcolm, is in Penang, Malaysia. We've got 65 judges, all doing different categories.
Yeah, it's a massive event.
Historical and sci-fi. Yeah, it's huge. Sort of, I guess, a melting pot for all of Asia, really, because there's heaps of Japanese, Koreans, Chinese, Malaysians, Singaporeans, I think.
Do we underrate like the Asian continent when it comes to like talking about the best painters in the world? Like, do we not talk about them enough?
I think so.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, to be honest. I think they get overlooked unless they start going to the
European events,
competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And same with us Aussies over here.
Mm-hmm. The difference, though, is us, mate. We, as a general rule, our standard of painting is probably not comparable with Europe as a general level. Whereas I think Asia, it probably is, but just in that very stylistic, completely different way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because there's a company called Nuts Planet there, right? And that's Korean, and they just have a very unique style. Young Miniatures, Korean as well, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's some really talented painters there, and you look at all their achievements, and there's quite a few that have been to Monty and SMC, winning gold, best in show, but there's probably quite a few we've never even heard of, to be honest.
I follow. Yeah, Galapagos, another good one. I follow a couple on there, and there's one who, if you're not following, you should go follow. His name's GHZ Studio. Fuck.
Yes.
He's a jet, man. I fucking love what he does, and I don't know. He's got like 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah,
unreal.
he posted something recently, actually. I think I can find it, because I just couldn't get over how he did it.
But yeah, that's probably a topic for the upcoming Saturation Generation podcast that we'll talk about. Why don't Asian painters get enough recognition?
Yeah, it was a Kingdom Death one that he did recently.
He's got this incredible way of just incorporating lots of colours in things in a way that doesn't look overwhelming and like garish, but just is very, very subtle, but just is so cool. Let me bring it up on screen.
Yeah, not the same social media. That might have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, good observation. Yeah, look at that. How good is that? Man. I love it. I'll just put a fucking little window capture up so everyone can see it. Look at that. It's great stuff. He did a look at that. Fuck, he's a champion. That King Arthur is absolutely world class. Like, just stunning.
Yeah.
Anyway. So this will also be your first event that you've gone to in a while where you haven't been attending and bringing some models. Is it nice to not have that level of pressure?
It is. I won't lie. It's been good. I've been able to paint for fun. Well, still competitively, but because I'll be going to Monty this year. But
see you, Dave.
Yeah, just no. See you later. Yeah, just no real pressure for the Aussie shows at the moment, which has been good.
That's sort of been my life for the last couple of years. It's nice.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, because we paid for a reason. Well, I paid for a couple of reasons. One for the enjoyment, but one to also compete.
Yep.
And I'm still competing, but it's towards the end of the year, so I've sort of not taken the foot off the gas, but just taking my time.
I like to think of it as being more experimental. You know, get to try some different shit, some stuff that might not work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've definitely been doing that.
What are you cooking?
Yeah, so I'm painting Athena version 2, and it's got your favourite miniature medium on there, a background.
All right.
It's not going to be a detailed background, be very abstract, but it will incorporate 3D elements on there.
Okay. Are you willing to share this, Jared, with the world? Because this sounds like it could be a train wreck, but it also could be very good.
You think every background I do is a train wreck?
No, I don't. I just think all the ones that you've done so far are a train wreck.
No, well, the Theta with the background, first one I did, it looked like a train wreck, so I basically painted over it, started again. But it's at a point now where it's pretty good. But I'll probably just I've got to touch it up a little bit more, and then I'll post it
All right, I'll allow it.
um,
I'll allow it.
the next couple of weeks. But worked on the Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
which has really been really fun to paint. Historical. Um, Seb's asking, have you told Dino yet about her microphone?
I think he's making a joke about the fucking wizard where you added the microphone
Yeah.
and the disc. So
Yeah.
he's trying to be funny. I just ignored it. Yeah.
I'll have to add one in. I completely forgot about that for Athena.
What
But
what I really struggle with backgrounds, right? So we're a 3-dimensional medium, right? So adding in a 2-dimensional element, unless it is absolutely top shelf, for me it's not going to work. Now I like the idea that you're adding 3-dimensional elements coming out of it, and if I look at one background that really worked for me was Banshee's Hellboy, right? And that was because he brought stuff from the background out, and put, like, he had a tree branch that came out of the background into a 3-dimensional form. So it was kind of like, I hope what you're planning here, which is a 3-dimensional image that turns into a 2-dimensional image.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that's basically what it is. Yeah.
I think that can work. I think that can work.
Yeah, I was a bit unsure at first, but after getting Athena to the point and the plinth to the point, it goes together really well, in my opinion. But yeah, no, I won't be biased about it. I think it's turned out pretty good. All the colours. Painted her armour turquoisey blue.
She's just a great model though. Hey, she's just a stunning model to paint.
Yeah, no, it is. It definitely tests your limits with all the NMM.
Yeah.
I think I've said to you before, that shield is something else. I think that tests everyone.
It's been cool to see how many different interpretations there are of that shield. Seen some that I hated, some that I loved. I haven't seen very many that fall in between.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I may as well announce it now and put Timbo on the spot. So we're going to have an Athena paint-off. Sorry, Timbo. It'll be for Crimson 2025, and I'm looking forward to giving him a serve.
All right. So who's this Athena paint-off targeted at?
Myself and Timbo.
All right.
So Timbo was giving a bit of stick, so I thought, all right, let's go, mate. Let's ramp this up.
I wouldn't mind getting in on that action.
Yeah, all right.
And that way I can give myself a medal as well.
I won't comment on that. You can do that if you want.
Lovely.
No, but Timbo and I were talking about it, and I think I'd encourage everyone to have a crack at it if you can, with Athena, because you just learn so much from it with all the metals, fabrics, skin, and there's just so many different ways you can paint it as well.
Even the face, it seems like, oh yeah, it's going to be pretty easy, but it's quite a challenging face to paint too. Like, it's got kind of exaggerated feminine features that if you have to sort of try hard to soften to bring back to look like a female, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And all the versions that are done on putty and paint, it's just done completely different. Seb said he's hoping to make Crimson 2025 and he'll do an Athena. Cool. Awesome. And then Yaba's asked, would you recommend it for your first ever bust?
No.
Yeah.
Why do you say yes?
I say yes because it's got so many different elements, but I can understand why you're saying no as well, because it is a tough model.
It's a big jump up. Like, as someone who's painted a fair chunk of busts, I remember the very first bust I ever tried to paint was a bust that I was obsessed with. It was Daenerys from Nuts Planet. I was obsessed with it. I was like, this is the best bust ever. I'm going to start painting it. And I painted it, and it was just tragically bad. Like, it was awful. The version that I put together was bad. So I tried again. I repainted it. It was even worse the second time. And I put it down, and I didn't paint it for like 4 years. I finally did a version of it that I was happy with. But bust painting is just a very different experience. It doesn't seem like it should be, right? You know, it seems like, yeah, you're still painting little models and whatever, but it is a different experience. So I would say that one of the anatomicals would be a better first paint.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, has said that's the question he should have asked first. So, yeah. No, I think once you get a few busts under the belt, then Athena's good to crack. But the hardest thing on that is the shield, and that's just due to the sheer size of it.
Yep. Wonder if
and then especially.
You go.
Oh, I was just going to say, especially if you put some form of freehand on it as well, and then trying to incorporate into it.
Just going to go and Google Athena on, or not Google, but Athena on Putty and Paint, see if it comes up with versions of a, yeah, let's do this. This will be a bit of fun. See you, Match Fixer.
Yeah.
So, fluid art. Let's have a look at this shield. This is a nice version. How's the shield? It's traditional Athenian owl. Very nice. A little bit of subtlety in the metal there. Kind of man face. Love that blue reflected there. That's good. Slaviansky artsy. It's Wonder Woman. He's out of the Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And see, that to me is a picture of a guy who didn't know what to do with a shield. Good. All right. Ray Abella. What have you done, Ray Mondo? Let's see. Clean colours. Bad photos, Ray. Yeah, that's a traditional Athenian owl. That's nice. That's good. It's a great sculpt. Look at that. It's a great sculpt. Oh, this one from Patricia Sancho. I want to talk about this one because I think this is this the best shield that's been painted for Athena?
That's an interesting question. It's very good.
Now, I actually sent Patricia an email about this. I said, I'd love to buy this. And it was just the figure. And then she put the backdrop on, and I said, "No, I'm good, thanks."
Oh, right.
Because I think the shield is absolutely incredible and a real masterclass in how to make three-dimensional looking object.
Yeah.
And I get the style of the background, but not for me. Is there a better one that you've seen than that?
Of the shield, I'm gonna say no. In that style.
Yep. Here's Jared Clifford's version. JC Paints, 93.9. Stunning, mate. What a result. This is
it's funny looking at it now. I'm like, oh yeah, go back and fix this and this up.
No, that's nice. That's nice. It's a very reflective environment. I love it. Unfortunately, you're sitting next to mine, and this is a really good version of my photography of mine because I literally just talking with the fucking tape still on the plinth.
I've never noticed that.
I couldn't be fucked. Uh, that one's mine. That's okay. I don't think it's the
Actually, Timbo raised a good point. There's
Anna. Yeah, Anna
an
painting. Anna
Anna
Makowski.
painting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that field's pretty good.
I follow her. Let's Anna painting. She's great. Anna Makowska. Let's have a look at hers. Yeah. Oof. Oof.
And there you go.
Oof. That's good. Yeah, that blows yours out of the water. Your version of
Yeah,
actually blows most out of the water.
yeah, it does.
She's great. She's a great like. I mean, she's got 14,000 followers, so it's probably not fair to say that she's underrated. But she's been doing crazy cool shit for a long, long time,
Mm,
and probably a lot of people don't realize how long she's been around for, just doing world class shit.
yeah.
Oh, banger. Anyway, let's go back to this. That's nice. That's a nice shield, Dano. Nice shield. Done a good job with that one, buddy.
Would you say it's better than Anna's?
No, fuck no. Here's Arnau's, which is probably this was the first version.
Mm. Yeah, the box art.
Yeah, the box art. I don't know. I like the shield. I think it's been eclipsed by quite a few since, but it's got a nice stylistic feel to it,
Yeah,
which is nice. I think the helmet's probably still one of the best versions of the helmet.
yeah. I have to say the helmet is probably the most fun part of the piece to paint.
Yeah, yeah. I could get on board with that. I really could. Good question from Covert Madness. I did a YouTube video on it actually, mate. I did a YouTube video on freehand, and my advice recommendation is probably use a slightly bigger brush than you think you need to, so that you have less like more time on your brush, particularly in Brisbane when the paint dries on the tip very quickly. Slightly bigger brush, still with a very good point, will just allow you to draw lines a little bit longer and it'll flow a little bit better. Don't be afraid of fucking up, right? Because you can always go back and paint over it and fix it and stuff. And try to work from a reference, I think, is the other piece of advice I gave. What about you, Jared? You've done a fair bit of freehand in this day and age now?
Yeah, no, I have a couple ways you can do it. Is the way Dino suggested. Another method is using tracing paper, draw the freehand out, and then you get plaster tape over it, then draw over it and cut around it. That can also help as well. But you've got to get the problem with that is that the tape has to go with the lines of the model basically, so to make it fit. But yeah, just have a crack at it. Start off with something small, yeah, like that, and then go big. But I'll plug Guilds in because Nat, who won Best of Show this year, she's doing topic on freehand.
She is
So
too.
if you come to Sydney, yeah, be able to learn from an experienced painter.
How often do you go back through this and look through at your progress, Jared? Do you do that often?
No, I don't.
I'd recommend it, mate. It's a nice thing to do. I mean, you probably only started posting when you were good, right? So you're not going to have as big a progress as you may have otherwise. But I mean, that Grunkful, you piss on that now. Same with that Rackham dude. You're all over that.
Yeah. I don't know why I'd painted a yellow orc though, but anyway.
I think you'd do a much stronger Oz now. Like I still think that's a very good version of Oz, but I reckon you'd absolutely crush that now, right? Like I look at that and I go,
Yeah.
you're just way ahead of that now, in subtle ways.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool, and probably none of these really jump out as outstanding. I don't like that green orc, by the way, but that Erinus is pretty good. The blue hair's great. Cormac's okay. He-Man's okay. And then we start to move into where you are now. G'day, Chromanaut.
Howdy.
I watched your latest video on using oils and or acrylics and mixing cold and warm on your highlights. Very good video. Everyone should go follow. Post your YouTube channel if you want, mate. No, I'm not giving him a serve, mate. I fucking love Jared's painting. I tell him all the time. Actually, I probably don't tell him enough, so that's what I'm doing this now for. So, I reckon this was a pretty seminal piece of your painting journey. I believe. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that one. Yeah, looking at it now, I can see where I could improve.
But I think you really landed on a non-metallic metal that felt great. I think you really hit like a warm hues and it just very strong presence, you know? Like I don't really reckon you really landed metals before that. Even the Impaler was okay, but that one really lands. And then I feel like that's when you really started to hit your straps.
Turn that corner.
Yeah. And pretty much everything since then just been continual improvement. And we get to this page now, which is just awesome. This I didn't realise you did a second version of this. Fuck, this is a hard model.
It is. I've said that to Seb. I thought it'd be easier the second time, but it was just as hard.
This is my favourite version I've seen of this model, mate. So I do not know why, but I've not seen this before at all.
Oh, right. Well, I think I gave that to Jim as a gift for Guild's Inn.
Gee, yeah, I wish I could point my finger on why it's that difficult, but it really is. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's where you put the focus. That's the hardest thing. Such a big mask and overpowers the face.
I definitely don't do focus stacking. I've never done focus stacking, but I'm a very bad photographer. My photos are probably the most average. I take photos in JPEGs, which I'm sure Dave would be horrified to know. He takes his in RAW. But, yeah, Timbo, mate, like, let's be real. Yours is a very good version of that, but it's a shit paint job on yours, mate. You got away with a lot of fucking bad painting on that piece. Just, oh, look, I'm fucking purple.
Yeah, with photos, I just point and click. Still don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, love that too. That's another. That's just a really nice, subtle pastels and warm. Yeah, I think you.
Yeah, that was a real fun one. That was Durgan Forge, I think.
Yep.
And then, I think Andy may have come into the stream.
Oh, you guys live streaming? Oh shit, it's Monday.
I can jump off if you want me to.
No, Jared, stay, please. I don't know how to. I don't know.
I apologise for it.
It's Party Monday, mate. I was just chatting to Jared about how nervous he is about judging and then talking about the weekend and getting excited. And then we were just going for a little trip down memory lane, looking at his great collection of painted figures. So we'd love to have you on board, Andrew.
Am I coming in? Is that what's happening here?
Well, you're already in, dickhead.
Well, that is true, but I can also be out if need be.
We'd love you here, mate.
You need to put Andy's face below mine. So we've got
all right, I've got a mask prepared for this, but I'm not sure if I'm ready. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Is that a fresh cut, Deno, in preparation of the weekend?
Sure is, mate. Got to look good for the photos, mate. When I collect my best in show or best in diorama, I should say.
You've got to look the part.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Oh, it's good stuff. Let me see this filter. I've got an image mask. Let me see where my other masks are. Streaming stuff. So what's been happening, Bucks?
Look, it's been a busy few days. A bit of family stuff on. That's probably why I completely neglected to keep track of time and the days. But all is well. I've also been deeply.
You can turn your camera on, mate. You can turn your camera on.
Yeah, sure. Deeply possessed by the painting game, and I've put an exorbitant amount of hours into projects, and I'm still sitting with 0 projects finished. That has been my time. So we could have to downscale to a singular project.
Just one, you reckon?
Yeah, well, I've got 4 in various states of completion, and unfortunately today I didn't have the time that I would have liked. A lot of it had to go elsewhere to more important things. So, yes, we will see. We will see.
Andy, there was a real interesting question we were talking about. I'm trying to remember what it was.
It was Asian. Is the Asian painting community underrated?
Is the Asian... Well, there's multiple Asian painting communities. There are some that are fully arrived. Just, I think a lot of the Western culture's not as aware of it unless you're at the sort of pointy end, which is the Korean painters. I think the Koreans have been doing really great stuff for a long time. Predominantly more in the realistic / historical space. Is the question more directed towards the emergence of miniature painting in China?
No, we were talking about Jared's heading over there for the Malaysian Open as a judge, and
yeah, excellent.
And it's an exciting thing, but they've got how many judges, Jared? 60, did you say?
Yeah, there's
65.
Yeah.
So there's a fucking shit ton of judges, right? The level of work over there, like, how is it not talked about more? And the answer to that question is because they don't go to European events. So is Asia the sleeping giants of the miniature painting world that we just don't talk enough about?
Well, I think that is probably true to a degree, but it's probably a little bit of our own naivety because they're definitely talking amongst themselves.
True.
As we are. But
let me challenge that statement, right? Because I think we have a very much big fish in a little pond sentiment over here. You know, we talk about our best. You know, Dave's obviously probably at the top of the tree, and Dave would absolutely be world class. We couldn't probably come up with 6 or 7 other painters that would sit on Dave's level and would be world class, right? Maybe 4, maybe 5. Probably 2 of them on this
in Australia.
Correct. Probably 2 on this call.
So I think what happens is that we have probably a pool of 10 or 15 world class, if not more, artists that will do just fine on the world scale. Dave is actually beyond that. You know, like Dave can really consider himself
universe
in
stage.
my humble opinion, that Dave has the capacity to go incredibly far, and already has, obviously. So, and that's, you know, yes, Dave is our friend, but also.
So here's my challenge for you then, right?
I would happily entertain any conversation with anyone about miniature painting about Dave Colwell's art.
Yeah, so would I. But here's my challenge for you. I would say that if the Asia, like the population in Asia, doesn't have 500 painters at that level, I'd be fucking shocked.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty hot take. I like that. I don't know that it's that many. I definitely, because I think the broader Asia market is actually way bigger across way more miniature art space than what we occupy. So last night, we were having a bit of a wander on Pinterest, myself, Benny, Storm, Timbo, Jimmy, for a little bit Jared too. To which Timbo has the best word for something, by the way. So shout out to Timbo. I was getting full Andy, you know, full Andy.
Yeah, having a waffle,
coming out.
talking about absolute rubbish,
Oh no,
Never go to the left.
full giga hype Andy, like peak hype Andy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
This is another level.
Gun skins Andy, but like even worse, right?
Yeah.
And Timbo's like, bro, you are so talked right now, and I was like, that's a pretty good word for describing someone who's super hyped up. Talked. Your full talk is what he said. I was like it. But what we were actually looking at was urbanism. Have you seen urbanism?
I've not. No.
So urbanism is literally right. It was fully talked. Yeah. Urbanism is like a hobby that I think you are deeply interested in. It's hobbying existence. You know, like buildings, dystopian type. Like think Neon Nights, but taken to like crazy levels.
Okay. Okay.
And it's scale modeling.
Yep.
And it's really awesome to look at. Really cool, and I think there's a fair bit of I think a fair bit of Asia is quite interested in this as a miniature art thing.
Now, does any of this have anything to do with the expression threefold soul? Because if it does, I'm out.
No, nothing to do with threefold soul. I'm just going to backtrack through, and then I'm going to send you a link of some of the things we're talking about, right? So we can put it on screen so people can stick with us. Because I think that their market is spread across so many more hobbies than just our little piece of the pie that is on the miniature scale.
Agreed. So,
and because of that, I think like, there's more people doing more things. Is that a good expression?
Yeah, I am probably coming into the conversation late. Obviously, you guys were talking about it last night, but my observation is that Asia is underrated in the miniature painting world.
Yeah. And you are absolutely right in that statement.
Thank you. And that is all.
However, what the miniature painting world is in Asia is very deep. And it's deep in lots of different spaces. I think scale modeling is massive.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite broad. I'm going to link you this Pinterest if we could bring it up. That would be awesome. And you can just scroll down and look at some of the stuff. I'll send it to you on... Is Facebook okay?
Whatever, mate. I'm fucking assembling models, so just relax, all right?
Well, let's give our friends some insight into what we're talking about, at least. I'll put the link in the chat as well. The reason why we're going here is because this is why Malcolm has so many judges. Because there is so many different interests that are going to be there. From Gundams to scale modeling to historicals to mech building to miniature painting to Warhammer to display painting. Yeah.
Where'd you send it to me on, sorry? Discord?
I'm just pulling your name up on Discord. Sorry, on Facebook.
Okay.
And I think we can get you full talked here as well.
I work in the car industry, mate, so every time someone says fully talked, it just rustles my safety jimmies, mate, so I'm on board. Alright, hang on. Working on it. Window capture. Come on, Dano, you got this, mate. You're a fucking jet.
Come on, big man.
You're a jet. That's not the right window, Dano. That's not it. It's this one. You're a fucking jet, son.
Alright, so let's look at... this goes deep, this sort of stuff.
Now, let me tell you, I'm already in.
I told you, you're peak talked right now. It takes 5 seconds. What do you reckon, Jared?
Yeah, can I just say, I met a miniature artist last year, Bet Milner. He's
a loose cannon, mate. He did this thing for SMC, which was just different ducks of the world, and he painted 50 different ducks, and he had it on a fucking box. Fucking loose cannon.
Yeah, but he's done stuff similar to this. It's really, really good. I quite like it. Yeah.
All right.
And I think a lot of the some of the Danish guys do this sort of stuff for dogma as well.
In our journeys last night, we found many direct inspirations that have transitioned across to the miniature art world, and it was eye-opening, wasn't it, Timbo?
All right, my first question: chicken or the egg?
Yes. Oh no, round 2. Here's Benny. Here he goes. Yeah, everyone's coming in. They're getting full talk. It's a talk session. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, Craig's on. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So what came first, chicken or the egg, in regards to scale modelling or painting or what?
Yeah. Well, what came first? What was the first thing that I'm absolutely jazzed for this. By the way, this is my absolute bag. Like when I because I have all of these diorama ideas in my head, right? And one of them that I've got is a futuristic junker, which is like an airship, but it looks like this, like it's a fucking junker covered in all this sort of stuff, and then have a.
Oh no. Are you about to say tugboats? Because if you're about to say tugboats, I am going to blow your mind. We are going to talk about tugboats.
Well,
Get the tugboats.
The
tugboats are coming.
There's a company called Industria Mechanica who does some great. This is great. Is this? Yeah, look at that. Fucking bit of Roman Lepard in there. Don't mind that.
Okay, fellas, let's get the. I'll bring up the tugboats.
Look at this. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is great. So, how does Pinterest work? What's Pinterest even? Look at this guy.
Just image board.
Look at this guy. Yes.
Yeah. Are you getting there?
It's
outstanding.
Talked? Mate, I'm pretty talked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
So I just think that I just think that there is a much broader scope for miniature art than just the lens that we look through.
All right. Question. Oh no, I've dropped something. Question. And this is maybe not something we can answer tonight. Maybe there is really no answer to it at all. But what is the next evolution of miniature art, right? We talked earlier about how Victoria Lamb was quite seminal in the world of miniature art because she really popularised OSL. Kirill obviously did a new version of non-metallic metal that really changed the way up. We've seen backdrops come in, right? We've started to see Roman creating this new three-dimensional framed diorama thing, right? So what's the next evolution of miniature art? Where do we go next? Is this it?
Well, Roman only popularised picture frame miniature art in our space. I think it's been done for a while in other spaces. And I'm learning that because there's definitely this urban stuff happening in picture frames as well. Also, Chris Sir was doing some picture framing, and there's actually, if you track it down, there's some real old Golden Demon. There's a famous Golden Demon entry, if you remember, that was a picture frame of a knight praying to the lady in the lake, and she's like reflecting in the window that he's praying to. So I think Roman has done an awesome job at modernising it and popularising it.
Popularising it is the key.
Yeah. So what is the next step?
Yeah. Is this it?
Okay. I think that we have a habit of going backwards to go forwards sometimes. I have a feeling that
cave paintings,
painting with metallics is going to start to make its way back a little bit. I think that people are going to go bigger and bolder and broader with their interpretation of what miniature art is. And that could well be the introduction of traditional art backgrounds. So we could use...
I was actually asking Jared. He's the only official judge on this, right? So we've got Jared. I was hoping Andy Bucknell would join us tonight, but it doesn't...
I believe he goes by the tag, if you want to look up Andy Bucknell, as
Andy Bugs Art.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, good bloke.
Sorry, I am speaking a lot of words. So Jared, if you I'm very used to this being a two-man show that I have to carry. So please get in.
Okay. I'll bring it down a level with my eloquent style of talking and gibberish. I think it probably the next phase would be. I agree, it's taking a step back to move forward, but I think the next phase is more interactive miniature art.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually on board with that.
And it's like, it's my time. It's my time.
Well, no, I agree with that because I think that actually is something that Raphael Pica did many years ago, which has stuck with me. Is a piece that's still very highly rated on Putty and Paint called Gui's Model Workshop. You can walk past, press a button to take a photo of you.
Interestingly, when we were on our journey last night through tugboats and urbanism, that piece showed up like it was meant to be there the whole time.
Did it?
Yeah, it absolutely did.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, Jared, you're saying more interactivity.
Yeah, I think so. Like we're seeing bus being utilised more in a non-traditional setting. Elements being added to it. Miniature painting, 75mm. I think it's starting to become a bit more interactive, and in the way that it's being done. So, what was that piece? Very much an art piece, in my opinion. By is it Droid here?
Droid Denner.
Droid Denner, yeah.
Yeah, did the woodsman carving that tree. Just looking at that, it was just like, wow, this is like the first thing is it looks like a piece of art, basically. I think, creating worlds as well.
So what
on the small scale or large scale.
What I'll calling it now, busts are done. 75mm is where it will go. Well, let's probe that a bit. Busts have a unique challenge that you are painting on something someone else has created, right? And so your scope for creativity is always as wide as you want it to be, but more often than not, what we see in bust painting is various degrees of coloration, right? We're just changing colors, atmosphere, moods, and we're doing majority of the time with paintbrushes and paint to do that. Now, I'm sure there was a conversation a long time ago when bust painting first started, was like, should we be modifying busts? I know people have feelings about that. We could use Spira Mirabilis for an example. People have a bit of interesting feelings about
The answer to that question is no, you should not be modifying a Spira.
And Jared will turn around and go, I think you should. Give me 1 second. That was Yana just giving me a call. I'll be back in just a second. This is all on the fly. You can take over, Jared, for a sec.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd love to modify busts every now and then, but more so incorporate them into a scene. But a Spira, haven't worked up the courage to do that just yet.
Nor should
because
you.
They're very good. They're the best. One of the best.
If anyone can answer the question that I posed, you'd be prophetic, right? Because it's probably not a question that has an answer. But it's nice to think that even in this day and age of social media, with the proliferation of stuff that we have available to us on the internet, that we can still be coming up with new things, like that we can still be finding ways, even if those are versions of old things that we've seen before. I think it's just cool that we still continue to find new ways to work miniature art,
So I think as long as so I've been thinking about this a lot, and we've been having lots of chats around like different influences coming into the miniature art space, and one that's been present and coming in and about for the last probably 18, 24 months, maybe a bit longer, is like traditional 2D perspectives being applied to sort of three-dimensional art, right? Like Moses Yao is a name that comes to mind. Mike Maskelyns, Len White, Gordon, our own here in Australia. And a lot of it is like thinking about some of the practices and elements of the discipline of portraiture and applying it to miniature painting. Um, I think the thing with where we I think we're a bit of an art space that is always looking for answers in other parts of art. What do you think about that?
Jared?
But yeah, Jared, what do you think about that? Jared?
Uh, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to ponder it for a bit. I would say definitely. Like you already gave one example,
Yeah.
um, mimicking busts to look like portraits or other way around. And yeah, you can see evidence of that. Um, Even I think that's probably what the background of the plinths is probably aiming to achieve as well. So that sort of
Yeah,
painting
I think
framing.
the backgrounds and the pieces we can probably track directly to a huge portion of fantasy art and the way that fantasy art is structured, particularly by the greats, the Paul Botters, the Frankfurt,
Frazettas. Yeah.
and their influences. Um, I would like to suggest that we've also looked at things digital art wise. A lot of I think, some inspiration for some great painters out of Spain. Uh,
Yeah,
you'd be amiss if you didn't think that there was some World of Warcraft influences in there and the way that that art style was being done. So, uh, yeah, I think we do often look out in order to innovate inward. But I think when it's done best is when we don't forget what we are, right? And that there are principles inside miniature art that are there for a reason. What do you think?
I love how passionate you guys get about this stuff, right? As you know, I don't. I don't
I
get
was going
that
to.
passionate.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you say that there are rules that are meant to be broken, or would you say they have to be followed?
No, I don't think this is. Rules are always supposed to be broken, but in order to break a rule, you have to learn a rule first, right?
Yeah,
Is usually where that tangent of that wrinkle of thought goes to. What I think is that what makes we maybe sometimes lose a little bit of focus on what makes what we do special, um, and like in an endeavor at times for us to explore the broader art space and let it influence our little pocket of the world, we have run the risk of losing some of those elements that make miniature art excellent, or growing tired of them, for example.
Let me challenge you a little bit here, Bucks. You know I'm want
Please
to
do.
challenge.
Please do.
I think for a very long time we would not have classified what we do as art, right?
Yep.
And when I say we, I don't mean we as individuals. I mean we as the collective, right?
Yep.
We've not been artists. We've been hobbyists that paint our models for a purpose. It's only probably in the last maybe 10 to 15 years that we've had people pushing those boundaries and suggesting, hey guys, this actually is art. And the way that they've done that is by taking stuff from traditional art and incorporating it into our world. So I think what you are pushing back against and saying we need to stop doing this is actually helping your long-term goal of creating a perception of what we do as art. So I think it's important that we don't lose, I guess, our roots in
Yes.
miniature and the hobby. But I also think that if our ultimate goal is being seen as a legitimate art form, which probably is a pretty dumb goal, but I understand. Then yeah, I think that the things that we're doing with two-dimensional art and incorporating those and the Mindworks games pieces that we're seeing, that sort of stuff, I think that's furthering the goal.
So I don't. I don't want, if I can respond to this, unless Jared, you want to jump in here and go first, if you have anything.
No. You
All right.
you guys carry on.
So the thing I don't want to perpetuate is that it's one or the other. I definitely want to reiterate that it's a creative space for you to do whatever it is you desire in this creative space. Where I want to be very clear on, though, is that what makes all those other art movements, or what was a movement and then became art, or the scene as art, or whatever the case may be, probably wasn't super obsessed with wanting to be verified or validated by a broader scene. Maybe it was, but from my experience, or from my thoughts rather than my experience, I think we are what we are, and the real ones know, and that's.
But social media has changed that. G'day, Soham. Greetings from India. Social media's changed that. Absolutely changed that in an irrevocable way. Perhaps what we perceive as caring about what other people think, caring about what other people think of it, back in the day was if you got your stuff in an art gallery and people were looking at your art, that was making it as an artist, right?
Yeah, the conversation again about, like we mentioned last week, about the arbitration of art. Yeah.
So there is just a perspective of people wanting to make it and be perceived as art through whatever format that is. My friend, we're doing dioramas that look a little bit like this one.
Run the tape.
Roll it. Roll tape.
Roll the tape. Okay. So, I like what you said. Social media does play a massive role in modern space, particularly it's incredibly big part of miniature art, as I'm sure it's
Can I just interrupt you, Andy? I just want to say I haven't seen this one before. This is totally new.
It is an easy one to miss, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, yeah. How can no one know about this piece?
I've got another one for you, Jared. I've got another one, mate. Have you seen this one?
Oh, you got another one?
You'll be able to look closely at this one very soon, champion. Boom.
Look at that one.
Oh, look out. Where's the music?
You've turned it off, remember?
Yeah.
Like I said, 6 seasons of this.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't think we need to go any further, right? I don't. I think the answer to the question is we have a responsibility as miniature artists to continue doing what we perceive as our ultimate goal. Some people that's to be taken legitimately as an art form. For others, it's just to paint cool models and have fun.
Yeah, and I guess the question is we're really posing is how does one legitimize an art form, and that is a broader question for another time.
Yes.
I have. Yep, go for it, Jared.
I was just going to say, like, I was talking with Jordan about this lead white and whether this is considered art and all that. My opinion is that it is, but to me, it's if someone is willing to buy a piece and they appreciate it. It's no different from buying a sculpture, a framed bit of artwork, a photograph, or whatever. Once someone wants to have it in their collection, then it crosses over into that.
That's interesting.
Someone wants it.
That's very interesting. I will add to that, and I think that what the end result is irrelevant for me personally. And this is the beauty of us all having different opinions and different thoughts about what art is, and it's probably what makes it awesome. Is I think that, in my opinion, art is the action of making. That's where the art is. The result, what comes out, is somewhat irrelevant. Because that's going to be vastly different for human beings of all caliber around the world. here, right? Some people are going to tape a banana to a wall, and there will be an audience that says this is profound, and there are other people that are going to paint tiny little things.
Did you see that dude? Did you see that dude who sold a fucking giant rotating mud pile that he just pushed his face onto? Sold it for $8 million. Like if that guy can be calling his shit art, it's like fuck me, mate. We're doing art for sure.
Well, that guy's probably not concerned about whether he thinks or you think or anyone thinks it's art. He's probably just doing what he's doing, and that's probably what makes it so interesting in the first place.
And this is where I come back to, right? I think you guys, or you probably more so than Jared, love diving into this type of conversation, and I don't think we need to worry about it, right? I think our focus is just paint shit, have fun, right? And as soon as we do that, it becomes art. Because I agree with what you're saying, Andy. It's not about the result, it's about the experience. Art is the experience of you.
Art is the expression.
Yeah.
It is your expression. And it is that and that alone, right? And so why do we feel the need to seek the validation of others in that expression? That's the real question we were asking.
Well,
and that one is a wild one.
I doubt it's us specifically.
When I say us, I guess
the collective, but I do think that the collective are searching for that answer, are searching for that validation.
Buddy Timbo.
Yeah, Timbo's giving you a bake there.
He is.
Was that for you, Jared? Do you reckon? He just
Yeah, he just toned me down. I was just thinking, all right, let me just think what I just said. And then, Seb just said, "Does that movie even hold up anymore?" There you go.
It's
you got me sweating, Timbo.
It's Billy Madison, mate. Billy Madison.
Yeah. So
he's been waiting for that.
And this is probably because at some point, like, this could work right now. We could be going right through the eye of the needle here. That is because at some point people stopped, or a percentage of people who enjoyed the medium or the action of colouring their tokens in certain ways. I mean, let's be honest, like Trent said, this started, or parts of this, let's not see that. I think that's a bit naive of us to think that everyone started this by wanting to paint tokens for games. I think some people just I think one thing that we all share in common, whether it's Gundam, Warhammer, scale modelling, historical painting, urbanism, toy making, pop vinyl collecting, whatever it is, we all share one love, and that love is we like small things. So
maybe I could get my girlfriend into this, mate.
If you like small things, put a hype me up in the chat. Let's cut Big Deno out of this because he's about big things. This is a small thing collective. We like small things. Let's get him out of here. But in all honesty, right? That's what it is. And that has to continue to be at the heart of what this is. We all like tiny things, tiny worlds, and that's the one thing we all share in common. And we've all found these unique and interesting outlets for expressing our interest in that.
Yeah, I just can't see how it's not an art form. It's just, like you said, everyone puts their heart and soul into it. Even from the tabletop game, all the way up to what we do, display painting, and more so, sculpting as well.
But we come at it from the perspective of we believe that, right? If you asked 80% of the population of the world, is these people painting little dollies an art form, they're going to say, absolutely not, you're peanuts, right?
Do you think that?
I do think that, yes. And I think you're naive to assume it's otherwise.
I think we'd be naive to assume.
Your circles that you swim in is this world. You might have a couple of ancillary circles of, your basketball friends and whatever.
Yeah.
My universe of people that I spend the majority of my time with.
That art can be found in all things.
Yeah, I was going to say you'd get that even with modern art. There'd be, like you were just talking about before, there'd be a banana or a face in the mud. Um, People wouldn't consider that art, but there are others that do. That's what I mean. It's like once someone legitimizes it through buying it, then that is
Is buying it the
confirming
only
it
way
is.
that you think they could legitimize it?
No, no. That's one example, I guess.
Yeah.
The appreciation, drawing inspiration, replicating it. So many other ways can do it. That's just one way.
I reckon the only. I reckon the only reason that artists need people to buy their art is because we live in a system that means they need to exist in order to make their art, and the only way to do that is by monetary uh, reward, right? Maybe in a time where we could trade goods for art, maybe like that's what happened, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
so I see what you're saying there, and I think that there's a lot of merit in what you're saying because ultimately that is a reality of the situation. And
In current society, it is. Yeah.
yeah,
There was a great take that I read online the other day. I don't know if it was you I was talking to about this, but it was we've gone the wrong way with AI, right? I don't want AI to be doing art so I can spend more time doing the laundry. It's like I want AI to do the laundry so I can spend more time doing art.
exactly.
Such a good take.
100% in agreement on that one. And that's the point, right? Is I guess that's the challenge that people who feel a almost, if we were to quote Rick Rubin, like a cosmic pull to make things, like it's hard to understand the compulsion of wanting to make something. Unfortunately, you can't spend all your time doing that unless you gain something back for it that allows you to both eat and sleep well. To have
Seb asked an interesting question. Does that mean I'm not an artist, though? I have not and do not sell any of my work. I don't think it doesn't mean you're an artist. Because you're going through that process of creativity, which is what it's all about. I think it's selling it is just confirms that someone considers it to be art. One way.
Yeah. So I guess it might get lost in translation a little bit, but I think what you're trying to say, Jared, is that through the compensation of buying art, it verifies it because someone is appreciating what you've done and contributing to you by appreciating what you've done.
It's been a wonderful experience chatting to you two friends tonight. I am going to take off very shortly. I've got 4 Kingdom Death Squires ready to go. But I'm going to see you both very soon. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We're gearing up for Arc. Jared will be a judge at Arc, so that's super exciting. First time judge. Good for some practice before swinging into Malcolm. First time, right? Like from memory, I could be wrong. You did. Maybe you did a little bit. As well.
We talked about it tonight, mate.
Time.
That's all we talked about tonight. Maybe if you were here on time, you would know that. But
no problem, mate. It's it's awesome.
So it'll be good to see you both. Looking forward to whatever activities you planned for me, which I was supposed to be on the planning thing last night, but obviously wasn't. So
yeah,
I'm sure
it was.
Not
planned any activities for you.
That's good. No. Well, you planned an activity. You planned an activity to not invite me to, so that's good. Going to visit Alan's house. That's nice of you to not invite me to that. So.
Oh my god. I believe you have other things that you're doing, my friend.
No,
I think your time on those days has been spent.
I jest. I absolutely have other things to be doing. So, no, but hey, look, it is going to be wonderful to see you both. I'm really looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a great experience for Jared, great experience for us to make fun of Jared the whole time. We can sledge him if he doesn't do a good job. We can hold him to task if he doesn't give us medals. Like, it's just a win-win for us, right?
Yeah. We're gonna make. So basically, what you're saying is we're gonna fashion a kangaroo court around Jared and his performance for the weekend.
Yes.
You have no. You have no choice. Yeah.
No, bring on a new shirt. May as well get it ready.
My goal for the weekend, friends that are still following along at home, is Benny and I are gonna try and do some streaming on Sunday morning. We talked very briefly about it during the week. I'm gonna try and whip out my phone. We'll do a very quick whip around of Arc via my stream. I don't think any of the Arc Open is being streamed. Last year they had a lot of streaming going on in the 40k section, which I got involved in and had a bit of a segment on. But I'm not sure if they're doing any other streams or if that's happening again this year. So I'll try and get on and do something very small and yeah.
Maybe we can get Bernie to bust out the microphone and we can go for a roam.
That could be good. Old school Rat and Roach.
Rat and Roach hit the beat. Yeah. Talked up street. Look, old Craggers, wasn't as talked up as I like to get, but look, if you wanna talk about urbanism and tugboats, just find me at Arc, or I'll find you, and we'll have a good chinwag. Yeah.
Yes,
we were on Major Kills content last year. Riley is he's a good guy.
Andy's a big friend with Riley. He loves him. Doesn't like to promote that fact because he's got 800,000 YouTube followers and he doesn't want to try and seem like he's cashing in on that. But he is trying to cash in on that. So, yeah, it's all good. Friends, it's been wonderful. Have a fantastic week. See you at Arc if you're coming. If you're not, I'll see you on the stream that I'm going to do at Arc. Catch you all very soon. See you, Jared. See you, Bucks.
Little Deno.
See you later.
Big Deno out.